Vihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Vraja Janarangana Yashodanandana Vraja Janarangana Pada Hari Vana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Hare Krishna everybody, thank you for coming to the daily Bhagavad-gītā class. Today we are going to study from the 8th chapter, the text number 21. Please repeat this word after me. Avyakta akṣara iti ukta tam āhuḥ paramam gatim yam prāpya na nivartante tat dhamma paramam mama avyakto kṣara iti uktas. I'm sorry, I sing it the way we used to sing it during Prabhupada times, and I never learned to please try to do it as I do, otherwise it becomes a big mess. Please. Avyakto kṣara iti uktas tam āhuḥ paramam gatim yam prāpya na nivartante tad dhamma paramam mama avyakta unmanifested akṣara infallible iti. Thus, uktaḥ is said, tam that, āhuḥ is known, paramam the ultimate, gatim destination, yam which, prāpya gaining, na never. Nivartante, come back. Tat, that. Dhamma, abode. Paramam, supreme. Mama, my. Translation of the verse. That which the Vedāntists describe as unmanifest and infallible, that which is known as the supreme destination, that place from which, having attained it, one never returns, that is my supreme abode. The following purport was written by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. The supreme abode of the Personality of Godhead, Kṛṣṇa, is described in the Brahma-saṁhitā as cintāmaṇi-dhāma, a place where all desires are fulfilled. The supreme abode of Lord Kṛṣṇa, known as Goloka Vṛndāvana, is full of palaces made of touchstone. There are also trees called desire trees that supply any type of eatable upon demand. And there are cows, known as Surabhi cows, which supplies a limitless supply of milk. In this abode, the Lord is served by hundreds of thousands of goddesses of fortune, Lakshmi, and he is called Govinda, the primal Lord at the cause of all causes. The Lord is accustomed to blow his flute, venunquanantam. His transcendental form is the most attractive in all the worlds. His eyes are like lotus petals, and the color of his body is like the color of clouds. He is so attractive that his beauty excels that of thousands of cupids. He wears a saffron cloth, a garland around his neck, and a peacock feather in his hair. In the Bhagavad-gītā, Lord Kṛṣṇa gives only a small hint of his personal abode, Goloka Vṛndāvana, which is the supermost planet in the spiritual kingdom. A vivid description is given in the Brahma-saṁhitā. Vedic literature, Kaṭha Upaniṣad 1:3-11, state that there is nothing superior to the abode of the Supreme Godhead, and that abode is ultimate destination. Purushanna parankiche sakrashta paramāgati. When one attains to it, he never returns to the material world. Kṛṣṇa's supreme abode and Kṛṣṇa himself are not different, being of the same quality. On this earth, Vrindavan, 90 miles southeast of Delhi, is a replica of the Supreme Goloka Vṛndāvana, located in the spiritual sky. When Kṛṣṇa descended on this earth, he sported on that particular tract of land known as Vrindavan, comprising about 84 square miles in the district of Mathura, India. Avyakto kṣara iti uktas tam āhuḥ paramāṁ gatim yam prāpya nivartante tad-dhāma paramāṁ. That which the Vedāntists describe as unmanifest and infallible, that which is known as a supreme destination, that place from which, having attained it, one never returns. Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. So I thought that when I read this verse, I thought that there were two, maybe three, very interesting words. One is avyaktaḥ, the other one is akṣara, and the other one is mama. It's a pronoun, mama, that gives an explanation to avyaktaḥ and akṣara. So in this verse, these two words refers to a place, to the supreme spiritual sky. But obviously it refers also to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, because there is no qualitative difference between the place Goloka Vṛndāvana and Sri Krishna. So many scholars, they have the pastime to speculate about the words, and avyakta and akṣaraḥ, I will see in 1 minute, is one of those words, because avyakta means that is not manifested, that it is not differentiated, and that is not revealed. Put yourself for 1 second in the shoes of Mayavadi, Shunyavadi, materialist. This world is a feast for them, because not manifested means that doesn't exist. You know, this world, we can touch it, we can see it, we live in it, but if we say that something is not manifested, it's like saying it doesn't exist. And so, because they don't know our philosophy, they know words, and they don't put the words into a philosophical, Vedic philosophical, how you say that in English? I'm sorry, my health is not good. One of the things is that memory becomes very, very bad. So, and we say that not only the material world exists, there are also other worlds that it is manifested. No? Avyakta does not mean that doesn't exist. Avyakta means something that you cannot see it as we see this world. We need something else. A scientist that says that it's impossible that something exists because we cannot see it is not a scientist, it's a religionist. Religion means you have to believe what I say. Doesn't matter if I can prove it, doesn't matter if I can show it to you, doesn't matter. You have to believe. That's religion. Krishna consciousness is not a religion. It's quite the opposite. Because the difference between religion, philosophy, and science is that religion you have to believe. No? Philosophy you have to understand. And science you can see by experiment. Krishna consciousness has some part that we cannot understand now. So, and Krishna consciousness is also philosophy because you can understand it, but sometimes understand that it exists, the West, doesn't mean anything, because if you don't see it, you understand, yes, it exists, and so what? No? Science means you take an airplane, you go to the West, so you see that it exists. Science is something that can be proven. So Krishna consciousness can be proven. And but they don't like to take time and energy to do what it takes to understand Krishna consciousness, because Krishna consciousness is not a philosophy; it's a science. So you have to do something to have the proof. They say yes. West exists, but I don't want to take an airplane. Okay, but then you cannot see it exists or not. Yes, no, until I don't see it, I don't believe it. This is the level of their foolishness, that they know how they can prove it, but they are too lazy. They don't want to do it. So avyakta means something that is not manifested in this material world. It is manifested in another plane, it's a different, how you say that word, dimension. Dimension means that to see what exists in this dimension, you have to be fit to see what exists in this dimension. So the spiritual world exists, but you need the proper senses. As Srila Prabhupada said many, many times, you can see Krishna, you can see Goloka Vṛndāvana, but not with his eyes. Even Lord Brahma himself said that, no, you need something in your eyes, you know, the devotion, then you can see it. So also, it's not differentiated, means it's the Mayavadi, they are, for them the word avyakta is a feast. The spiritual world is as a block of light. There is nothing inside. It's just one thing. Also the Shunyavadi, they said, well, you know, we could accept that the spiritual world is one block, and means that nothing exists. Mayavadi say, yes, it exists, it's just a block, light. There's nothing inside. So we say that the spiritual world is differentiated, but not like the material world. It's a different type of differentiation, and this is quite complex to explain. It will take a long time, but the point is the spiritual world is a lot of variety. Actually, it has more variety than in the material world. For instance, the other day I was reading the Radha Krishna Ganodesha Dipika by Srila Rupa Goswami, and he was explaining, like in the spiritual world, there are many different types of skin colors. In this material world, we have a white, black, brown, you know, maybe some red or something. But in the spiritual world, there are all kinds of colors, a mixture of colors. The personalities in the spiritual world, they have such a beautiful bodies with a so beautiful type of a skin color. So it's very attractive to see those type of spiritual bodies. And then avyakta, they say, means not revealed. That means it's not possible to reveal it. So what you are talking about? Why we should talk about something that can never be proven? You know? And they are very happy that this cannot be revealed. No? But we say that the spiritual world is very easily revealed. Srila Prabhupada said one time, you can be Krishna conscious in 1 minute, in 1 second. It's just a question of heart. So, and again, but they don't want the proof. They just want to debate. No, cannot be revealed because I don't see it. You don't see it. You don't see behind your head. How can you see the spiritual world? You cannot see it. No? So this is meaning of avyakta from different point of view. Now let's go to akṣara, that is even more interesting, but they are both, you know. Akṣara means something that cannot be destroyed. No? Kṣara means destroyed, akṣara means not destroyable, so it's eternal. Immutable does not mean that some say, okay, it's immutable. In the spiritual world, there is nothing going on, because nothing changes. Krishna is always Krishna, the gopi is always Krishna. They don't do anything because otherwise they would change. They don't go to the Yamuna, otherwise they would change from when they were not at the Yamuna. So then it's kṣara. No, we say no, because qualitative, there is no difference between Krishna the gopi in one place and Krishna the gopi in another place. It is indestructible. Indestructible does not mean that it's always the same. Indestructible means that the spiritual energy does not destroy itself, but it changes. If a gopi, for instance, wants another house, then the house is there. That doesn't mean that the former house is destroyed. It's just changed. That's possible, So kṣara means eternal. It's eternal. So, and then to conclude the explanation of avyakta and akṣara, how do we know that avyakta and akṣara refers to a person? Who knows that? There is a small word, mama. Mama means mind. If there is a mind, there is an I. Cannot be a mind without being I. So that means that someone who has a spiritual world, which is avyakta, and akṣara, the supreme personality, creator of this world, is a person. Mama, mine, I have this. So this is mama, this is mine. It's a person. I cannot say mama and there is no a person. And all our acharya during the hundreds of years and thousands of years has repeated this concept over and over. In particular, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati, but not only him, of course. He was particularly fiery about criticizing the Mayavadi, because actually, if someone is a Mayavadi, cannot be a Bhakta, cannot be a devotee. Because how can you serve and love if you think that you and him is the same thing? How can you love somebody who does not exist, who is a big, a ball of light? So Mayavadi philosophy destroyed Bhakti. Destroys Bhakti. We had always to be very careful to not to fall into the Mayavadi trip saying this and that. There is no difference. Yes, there is a difference. This and this are two different things. It's not the same thing. Well, it's matter. Yes, but it's a different building. It's a different creation. It's something. You cannot speak in a table. You cannot sit on a table, on a microphone. So that's differentiation. Plurality in creation is everywhere. It's everywhere in this material world, and plurality is there in the spiritual world. So, Advaita means not two. Dva means two. Adva means not two. So, Advaita is a Mayavadi word. Are we Mayavadis because we say Advaita? No. Because we say there is a difference, but the element is the same. This and this, they are material energy. In the spiritual world, it's a spiritual energy. But the fact that they have at the base the same energy does not mean that they are one. Again, because you can speak with a microphone and you can use the table to put your things are not the same. Also in the spiritual world, there is Kṛṣṇa, there is Radharani, and there is this and that. They are all part of the same transcendental energy, but they are not the same. Kṛṣṇa is Kṛṣṇa, Radharani is Radharani. The other day, one devotee asked me, "Can I be Radharani?" Well, the position is already occupied, I'm sorry, there is already one. You cannot be a Radharani. You can be a devotee of Radharani, yes. There is a lot of space, but no Radharani. So, this is. So, I hope you have a lot of questions, but anyway, my last topic I want to discuss is the very famous nivartante. If we go back to the spiritual world, we don't go back to the material world. So how it happens? Kṛṣṇa locks the gate, you cannot get out. I want to go back in the material world. I'm forced to stay here. When I was very young, since I was born and raised in the most Catholic city of the world. So I was going to see these huge churches and the Vatican and all this type of things. And I was preached, since I was a young boy, that the paradise is eternal. But I was going to church and I didn't like it. So if I go to the paradise and I don't like it, what do I do? You know, this huge God with something looks like Schwarzenegger with a thunderbolt, you know. If I do something, it throws me in the head. It's scary. It's scary, the concept that I cannot choose. So what is the most important element in a loving relationship? I love you, you love me. What is the most important? The most important is that I can choose to love you, and you can choose to love me. If I say, love me, otherwise I beat you, you can say, yes, yes, I will. But this is not love. It's something else, it's fear. Real love is when I love you, and you love me back spontaneously, because you want to. So I'm saying these things because when I was a young boy, I was really, that was the worst part of my religious research. That's why I never became a Christian, you know, because I don't want to be forced. If I want to go to and I qualify it, to go in paradise, I want to go. But if I go there and there is nothing going on, you know, just somebody there with a thunderbolt, then maybe I don't like it. Because in the material world, time, kala, is bad. Because when we have something good, we are afraid that they will finish, they will end. But not always this is but also when you are in a bad situation, then you will finish. So it's bad and it's good at the same time. You know, in suffering, my life is miserable, I have no money, I have no health, I have nothing, etc., etc. But one day I will die. But in the spiritual world, you cannot die. So if you don't like it, that's the worst thing. So Krishna, when you read the description in the scriptures and in the words of our great Acharya, you see that this fear is not there. There are so many things to do, there are so many beautiful things to do, and there is a concept also that you never, surely, like Bhagavad-gītā is saying, you're never going to use it. Okay? But you go back to the spiritual world, you never come back. But if you want to come back, you can come back. Srila Prabhupada said it many times. I don't remember who, one of my God brothers said, Prabhupada, okay, Prabhupada, no, but if I want to go back. But Prabhupada said, if you want, of course you can come back. But are you so stupid that you want to come back here after having seen the spiritual world? So the point is that the Bhagavad-gītā says, you will not come back because you will not want to come back. And not because they close the gates and help me, let me out. That's not what the spiritual world is about. Jaya Vijay does not push you back. And so you don't come back in this material world because you don't want to come back in this material world. So the two concepts, the free will, about which Srila Prabhupada has spoken so many times, and the statements of the scriptures that say that when someone goes back in the spiritual world, he never come back, both are correct. There is no contradiction in the scriptures. There are contradictions where you don't understand the philosophy, that you cannot, again, this word, you cannot put together two different apparently opposite concepts. They say this is impossible. Night or day cannot be both. But in our philosophy, you have to be. This is a philosophy for intelligent people, and sometimes you have to learn how to accommodate opposite, because there are many different perspectives. From one perspective, this is right. Another perspective, the other thing is right, even if it's opposite. So when you go back to Krishna, you will not come back in the spiritual world, in the material world, because you will not want to come back. You know. Well, and to really finish, if there is anyone with questions, raise your hand if you do. Nobody? When nobody does question, there can be two reasons. One, you not understand anything, and the second, I was not able to explain anything. Probably is the second. So anyway, Srila Prabhupada gave the most beautiful description of the spiritual world, and when somebody reads how the spiritual world is made, you really want to go there. You don't want to stay in this place. You know, you want to go back there. This is eternal, it's beautiful, it's an infinite variety, and you can do so many things, and you never get old, you never get sick, and who doesn't want to go in a place like this? And believe us, means the parampara, these are not philosophy, this is a reality. Sometimes people say, okay, this is a nice philosophy, good, you know, you think nice. No, this is not philosophy, this is a reality. The spiritual world, exactly as Srila Prabhupada has described in this purport, it's real, it's actually like this. Actually, before knowing Krishna consciousness, we ask ourselves, how is God? Nobody will have even thought for 1 second that God plays a flute. You know, this is totally something out of blue. And so it came to us through a bona fide chain of spiritual master, and now we know who is God. Now we know. But it's not to know God. You don't go looking for God. If you want to know God, you have to go to somebody who knows God. It's impossible just impossible. How would you arrive to the conclusion that God is blue and plays the flute as a girlfriend, as a brother? The first time that I went to the temple, I was 16, 17, something like that. And the devotee was and he said, there was a picture of Krishna on there. I said, this is God, and there was Tulasi there. This is God, and this is the best devotee. So I thought either I found something really far out, or this man is a type of crazy, one of the two. So during the years, I discovered that he was not crazy. I was crazy, because I couldn't understand at that time. So I think we should finish here. If there is any question, I try to answer. Otherwise, we get up and go, as you prefer. Hare Krishna.
The question is it's always a question comes in the mind when it's said that.
You should yell because I am deaf.
We living entities were with Krishna, and we wanted to enjoy separately, so we were fallen down here in the material world. Number of times it is said like this. So when Krishna says, one who comes to my place will never return back. So again, this question arises: when we were there, how did we come back then?
No, if you go there, you'll never come back because you don't want to come back.
But earlier, like before coming to this material world,
I was expecting this. I'm trying to. Okay, I will tell you one story. When we were very young, and that's why I will not answer you. When we were very, very young, in the 70s and 80s, we never actually thought about this. Because we thought, well, in a way, somehow, we came here. When you are very young, your intelligence is not very developed. So you don't really think too much. But then when the 80s came in, then we were a little senior already. Some of us were 25, 30 at this age. You can understand philosophy deeply. And at that time, there was two different parties. One says something, and the other was saying differently, which is very normal in philosophy. Actually, there is a verse in, correct me if I'm wrong, in the cintāmaṇi-dhāma, maybe, that says the one should not run away from debates, because debates make you strong. The problem with the jiva falling from the spiritual world was, however, transformed into a political debate. You say this, I am right, so you are wrong, so you are not qualified to understand philosophy. And personally, I participated for decades to this debate. I even wrote a booklet on this subject matter. But then I understood that we were not talking about philosophy, we were talking about politics. Means I am right because you are wrong. So, hey, he's wrong, ISKCON is wrong, and the other one is right. So they are not qualified. They are qualified, like this. So, because by nature, I hate politics, I really do. Because philosophy is philosophy. You can agree, you can disagree. Srila Prabhupada said A, he said B. So we had to try to put together, like so many other things in our philosophy. There is no, there are hundreds, maybe thousands of points that can and should be discussed, but not with a political aim. So you are wrong, and so I vowed to never talk again about this. One thing is sure: if you come back, you don't come back. That's we know. Yes, that's Bhagavad-gītā says that there is no. Yes. The point is that before coming the first time, so how come you came in this material world? For what reasons? What is the reason of coming here? When we were very young, we were talking about envy. We envied Kṛṣṇa, and it's actually very easy. If you read some books, like the, I don't remember. Anyway, there are books of Radha Krishna pastimes that are quite intimate, and you really don't explain yourself why you cannot do something that Krishna does. Why Krishna can have a girlfriend and I cannot have a girlfriend? Well, I can have a wife. That is quite different, because Krishna has a girlfriend without being married, which is much better than relating with your wife, because wife is always the same thing, Why? So, and it can be some envy, but I have very strong doubts about all this. So anyway, that's.
Can I ask one more?
Sure.
Yeah.
Nobody's asking.
Like, we are chanting 16 rounds and following 4 regulative principles for it is. But it's very difficult to, like, it's always a question mark. Am I doing right? Like, am I doing my bhakti properly? I'm doing, my goal is to go back to Goloka Vṛndāvana. But what is the position? What I should do much better so that I can be positively situated? Like, that all questions keeps coming. So how do I?
Yeah, it was very nice question. We are having video conferences quite often with the devotees in the West. And there was this question: if I chant 16 rounds, but my question to them was, if you chant 16 rounds the whole of your life, it is enough to go back to Kṛṣṇa, yes or not? What do you say?
I don't know.
No, it's not enough. You cannot go to Kṛṣṇa. Hey, Kṛṣṇa, you had to accept me because I chant 16 rounds. There is only one way you can, because there was the point of 16, maybe 8, maybe 64, and maybe this, and this was the origin of the thing. So those who chant 64 rounds, they go to Kṛṣṇa faster, they go quickly before us. Hey, 64. Kṛṣṇa will. No, the Shastra are very, very, very clear on how you go back. You go back to Kṛṣṇa only in one way, by the mercy of a pure devotee. If the pure devotee tells you 16, you chant 16. If the pure devotee tells you 8, you go to Kṛṣṇa with 8. If the pure devotee says 64, you go with 64. Because this is very understandable. You go to Kṛṣṇa and say, I chanted 16, so what? You know. But this is my Guru Maharaj. Oh, it's my pure devotee, I love him so much. Because I love him so much, I love you so much. You cannot go to Kṛṣṇa alone. You have to be accompanied by your spiritual master, a pure devotee. As a pure devotee. Because the spiritual world is not a mechanical place. I go because I chant 16 or 20 or 24. I follow 4 regular principles, maybe 5, maybe 3, all these things. It's not a factory. It's a place of love. Kṛṣṇa accepts you if he loves you. So how does he love you? If you love his pure devotee. Kṛṣṇa cannot love you if you don't love his pure devotee. That's why Srila Prabhupada here in Vṛndāvana is so prominent. We build a building for Srila Prabhupada in one sense even bigger than and for decades, 50 years, we have been chanting samsara-dhāvana lalita-loka, and somebody after, because we were all stupefied, yes, samsara-dhāvana, and nobody thought, why are we chanting in front of Kṛṣṇa the prayer for Srila Prabhupada? The Gurvastaka is not for Kṛṣṇa, the Gurvastaka is for the Guru. So the explanation is very simple. Before praying to Kṛṣṇa, to pray to the pure devotee. And without Srila Prabhupada, we weren't here. We weren't talking about these beautiful topics. We weren't wearing this. We didn't know anything. We were in the material world just waiting our death, because that's the material world is just waiting. It's agony. That's the material world. So, and there is one person that we can thank, and this is called Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. There is no second or third. Of course, there are great acharyas, but without him, we didn't know who Jiva Goswami was or Rupa Goswami. All the merit that we are now in Sri Vṛndāvana Dham has only one name, as Srila Prabhupada. So we had to thank him. go every day to this beautiful samadhi, where his body is there, the physical body is still there, and bowing down, and in our mind, I think, thank you, endlessly. So, because this is bhakti. Bhakti is a question of love. You love Prabhupada, Krishna loves you. So, to conclude your nice question, it's you just do what Srila Prabhupada told you to do. Because there were many different instructions that he gave us, some personal. If he said to a devotee, get married, or another one, don't get married, then you don't know if you had to do one or the other. So, but you had to study the instruction they gave for everybody. So there is personal instruction and general instructions. So personal instruction you should get from your spiritual master. I don't know if you are initiated, if you are not, you should. And then you follow 16 rounds because Prabhupada said. You follow 4 regulatory principles because Prabhupada said, and not for any other reason. No? There are, if you ask me why 4 regulatory principles, I can talk, but at the end, the essence is that I follow 4 regulatory principles because Prabhupada told me to. If Prabhupada told me 3, I would follow 3. If he didn't tell me anything, I wouldn't follow any. Who cares about 4, 5, 6, 7? We should worry about only one thing. We should worry about following Srila Prabhupada instructions. This is one. So we have so many books, so many nice devotees who can explain you what Prabhupada said, and then if and when you have a spiritual master, you can get personal instructions. Okay, so I think it's time. If there is no other question, we can end here. Thank you very much for having come. And when there was Parvati downstairs, there were many more people. Who was here when Mataji Parvati was in charge of the Bhagavad-gītā class? I loved her. Of course, my sister, I love her so much. But I like those days better. Okay, Hare Krishna, glory to Srila Prabhupada.